What's up, everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mystic Raven. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick vlog because I just got a recommended video from a known player again with a Stamina Nightblade build. Okay, here's my issue, guys. So we got these idiots, and I'll use the word idiots pretty firmly, who finally get diminishing returns. But there's it's more front loaded in the CP. That's really not the case. I mean, if anything, the CP reallocated points system actually is more middle loaded than front loaded, because if it was more front loaded, we'd actually get more points in our earlier points, but we actually get less than 1%, which prior to Morrowind we got a solid 1% for 1 point distributed. But we see the increased fluctuation more towards middle and taper down towards the end, meaning your diminishing rate fluctuates from beginning to the end side, and the indifferent curve is set towards the middle. Okay. And I could break down the entire math, but to be honest with you guys, I'm lazy as fuck when it comes to certain shit. I don't do financing anymore for a living, and I don't work in the insurance industry anymore or anything like that. When I did, I had to pay attention to all this shit and math and all that when it came to all that kind of stuff. And the math's kind of similar. So that's how I kind of know it, and I can just kind of, fluctuate and get the numbers, and I adapt pretty quickly. But here's the deal, guys. So they finally get the these tubers get the point of the diminishing return in the CP system. What they don't really fucking understand is that they think that's the only place where diminishing returns are. It's not the case. For example, if you go all divine, put a big "I'm an idiot" on my forehead. Now, I'm just telling my subscribers this because you actually have a diminishing return on traits. Now, each class is different, once again, depending on your Mundus. So that will change. So if you're a sorcerer and you're running Thief Mundus, for example, you might be running a 6 divine with 2 infused for an extra crit percentage. But here's the deal also, because they don't understand that you also have a diminishing return on crit value. They think 100% is a true value of your crit. And in this game, it's not. Because if you go into the stamina, they changed it. Now I'm on my warden. But the big deal is, you used to be able to see the crit value percentage when you hit your cloak. They guaranteed you a strike, right? Shadowy Cloak, I think it is. But it guaranteed you a critical strike. And at the time, the percentage was almost like 300 for a guaranteed. 300%, right? That's a guaranteed strike on crit. Okay, it's guaranteed. It's not 100. 100 would be you would think would be guaranteed, but it's not. Why isn't... Now here becomes the question, why isn't 100% a guaranteed on crit? Ask yourselves this. If I had 100% crit value, why wouldn't I be critting 100% of the time? Because they have a diminishing return on the crit value. That's why I'm always telling my viewers and you guys, anything over 55.5, you start seeing a higher diminishing rate. You can go over, but remember, guys, for every point above this point, you see a more dramatic effect on your diminishing return. And what can I say, guys? And this is coming from this person who posted this is supposedly the math expert in ESO. Hello? And I'll put that in quotations. I am the math expert in ESO, and yet you failed to understand the diminishing return on crit value? I rest my case. Whatever. So, yeah, this is my problem with tubers, man. Once again, feeding stupidity into our community. Feeding it, just like spooning them, just stupidity. Just dumb shit. Dumb. Go all divines. Go this. Go that. Do it. Now, here's the deal, guys. You can do it, and of course, the percentage value is probably less than 5% difference, right? Because the devs are pretty good at marginalizing. The devs are actually really insanely good at math in this game, and you have to be a developer. Your math skills have to be pretty dead on. But I've just been doing this a long time, and the diminishing value is always applied to crit in almost every MMO except Sandbox, because there's a hard cap. But class-based games, the one thing they always hit the DR with is crit. It's always going to be either the crit damage or the crit chance, right? But the crit damage isn't the problem with the DR in this game. Meaning, even if you get a crit, you're not going to see a taper effect from your crit damage. What you see the taper effect from is the crit value. What's your chances to crit, where the DR lies. So you can run the shadow, and you can run other effects. Like in Fighters Guild, I could go with like the Trap Beast, which is going to increase my crit damage by 10%. That's flat. That's a flat 10% increase. There's no effect, no diminishing effect on this damage modifier, right? This is a modifier that increases my critical damage, right? Same thing with the CP points. You're going to see the diminishing return at the end for how many points you distribute. But at the same time, whatever you put into the base amount of crit damage applies. But the crit value, or your chance to crit value, doesn't have a DR, but the crit chance does. And there was another tuber who had like 67% crit. I'm like, you guys are lowering your base damage. And that's what they don't understand. By putting more points into the crit value, you lower your base damage. That also affects your critical damage, right? So the more points I take away from the base, it affects my crit damage. My crit damage is a percentage of any other the base value of that in the percentage than any other modifier like Trap Beast here. So there's a couple different variables that will give you how much damage you're dealing, and whether or not you run the shadow. So I'll be honest with you guys, it's just my God, just wow. You know, and that's the one thing about this game. I love this game because it's flexible. You can play with numbers, right? More than any other MMO, class-based MMO. Any class-based MMO, the reason you have a best in slot, it's a linear progression. This game doesn't have a linear progression, so you can fluctuate your numbers in your build. The problem of it is, though, they add the DR system so good that once you get it, and once you figure out the class, you figure out your progression, everything kind of has a scaled effect where it balances out towards your end game scenario. So this is what I'm always telling people. Someone's like, this class deals more damage. I'm like, because you didn't build the other class right. Once you build every class right and you get them up, now I'm not differentiating between Magicka and Stamina. Magicka is a separate entity from Stamina. You can go more burst damage. You can go more dot in. Dot in isn't going to have the same burst effect as, a burst damage. So dot builds aren't going to be as front end as a burst, but dot is more consistent DPS. So, and that stays true in every MMO you play. So everybody's like, well, why not everybody build with a burst? Well, the problem of it is your DPS starts tapering backwards due to mechanics. So you always need some sort of dot build, typically. But you can build around that too in this game. So you can kind of get a nice mediocre steady end damage, but you don't hit up the top end. So, and then you're not at the bottom end of your DPS. But once again, guys, I don't know, man. Go watch them. They're known players. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It's all I have to say. They're known players, yet they're math experts, yet they're not fully embracing what the DRs are. Better yet, this is what I suggest to you guys. go to ESO forums and type in anything that has to do with the diminishing return, and you'll see old school MMOers there posting the values. Oh my fucking God. Like way before, and they're like, well, that was before this or before that. The diminishing rates, really, besides the CP system, which now have changed due to, you know, but is there a diminishing return in CP? Yeah, does it affect your DPS? Well, of course. But the crit value hasn't changed this entire time. No crit value has changed in the DR system with that. Same thing with traits. And that's the first thing they'll tell you on the forums. So you already have old school players that's posted within recently, all the way back since this game started, who already had the numbers out there. And yet I have tubers, dumbass fucking tubers, feeding stupidity into our community. God, please stop. At least know what the fuck you're talking about before you put it out. Don't pretend you know what you're talking about if you fucking don't. Please don't do that shit. Don't do it. Oh my God. So once again, guys, that's why I'm never going to say best in slot. It's never going to come from my lips, because they put the sandbox element in the gear selection, and every race in every class is going to perform different based on those parameters. And different variables are going to get you different results, but the diminishing returns are effective in every part of this game when it comes to your builds. Knowing, like, if once again in my DK, he lacks max magicka and max stamina, I might go with more infused versus divine to capitalize on his numbers missing. Same thing with sorcerer. Depending if I'm running the thief, I might run 1 extra divine to get that percentage up there. I could run 2 extra divine, get it up there, but I got to take into effect the diminishing return. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I have no idea. Just wow. Whoa. Just wow. Amazing. I'm simply amazed. But yeah, just a vlog. I'm probably going to get some dislikes on this because people hate when I talk math, and I'm not even talking math. I'm being completely like certain players. I will break down certain things. We'll go over it. We'll break it down. We'll whatever. I'll do some tests. I'll throw it out there. But for the most part, I don't really care who believes it and who doesn't. But my problem of it is when you're feeding thousands of players stupidity, it's just dumb. Wow. 70-something% crit. Holy shit. What the fuck are you smoking? Just wow. I mean, even with the buff, even if I was running a buff to give me major savagery, right? Let's say I'm on a Stamplar, and I'm running something in, to give me the major savagery increase, I probably still want to go over 62. I mean, that's even high end. I mean, my crit value is going to increase, but it's not a true 62% crit value. I'm more like looking at like 57 point something on my crit percentage chance, just off the top of my head. I mean, without breaking it down, but yeah, amazing. 70%. What the fuck are you smoking? Alright guys, there it is. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know what to do with these people. Alright, anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you have any questions or comments, especially comments, please post below. I enjoy these other tubers so much. Once again, thank you and have a nice day.